Alright, so we're back at the apartment here, and of course we just finished at least what is technically first half of the Citadel, what was originally a DLC, but is now built into the base Legendary Edition game. There are perhaps a few things we'd like to do here first, before we proceed with some of the other things we heard about. There are, perhaps most importantly, or at least most significantly, there's this party that we've heard about. However, there may yet be still additional things for us to do before we do that. And this is probably the primary reason why we delayed doing the Citadel mission until the end of the game. Technically, you could do the first half with all the missions that we did previously. I mean, we got it quite early. Might have been as early as post-Tuchanka? Somewhere around there. There were still some fun conversations, some banter, some dialogue between present party members and previous party members that unfortunately we didn't get to hear that much of because we were a little distracted by what was actually a surprisingly difficult set of missions. But there was certainly a fair bit of that. So that's one reason why you might want to delay a little bit, because that feels more festive, feels more ceremonial if you do that at or near the end of your playthrough. But you could theoretically do it as early as, like I said, maybe around Tuchanka is where it initially shows up. But this latter half that we are about to do now, this is the part where, especially the party, talk about a way to wrap things up that is usually the unofficial ending to the entire trilogy. So that's why we're going to hold off on this for now. Now, you could do the first half with all those actual combat missions early on to unlock the additional weapon upgrades and base weapons, get some additional monies and experience, and then wait to do the party until a fair bit later. That is theoretically something you could do, but in this case, we obviously opted to wait to do everything at the end. But a matter of personal preference. So, before we actually partake of this party, though, let's take a look at our private terminal. We can look at messages sent to us. There's nothing new there. But if we take a look at the invite up, we can invite James, we can invite Miranda, and we can invite Tally. So there are, of course, specific people that we can invite to the party. There are actually, I believe there are technically some people who automatically get invited, those who you are pretty much guaranteed to have in your party at this state of the game, whereas anyone who, who is living and who we encountered and finished their side missions during the course of Mass Effect 3 mostly, although obviously if someone died in Mass Effect 2 during the suicide mission, for example, that obviously excludes them as well. But those are the people who will be available, those who are alive and who we completed their side quests in Mass Effect 3. So at the moment, it's Tally, Miranda, and James. That list does seem a little bit short, however. So perhaps we would be better served to look around a little bit and see if there might be other opportunities to perhaps invite additional friends, because certainly there are additional party members, current and past, that we may want to ideally see at this party if we really want it to be a commemorative experience. But before we head out, just wanted to take a quick check here. Not so much there, I guess, as much as here. Is this just allowing us to select our weapons, or can we also upgrade them here like we do in the Normandy? I'm not sure that we can. And so for that reason, may actually, with the sizable sum of credits that we currently have, opt to go back to the primary section of the Citadel for just a bit here. Purchase some weapons, some more of the ones that we had said, although not the highest on our list of priorities, are effective, in some cases very effective, just in some niche circumstances that didn't really fit the way that we were planning to play, or that you would typically use on characters that perhaps we tended not to use as often. But given how many credits we have right now, and given how it is very, very close to the end of the game, now is probably a good time for us to not only purchase, but perhaps even upgrade some of those weapons. So let's head back in that case. And we'll actually see here that we are currently located in an entirely different area of the Citadel that was not previously accessible to us. Now, this Part 7, the Silver Coast Casino, is actually the place where we had one of the missions, or sub-missions, during our overarching Citadel mission, and so that is something that we may look a little bit familiar if we were to head over there. But I am actually thinking that we would like to, before we start exploring this new area, we'd like to head over back to the Normandy, and like I said, or the Citadel, purchase new weapons and upgrade some of those weapons as well. Because, yes, this is a totally new area of the Citadel, and this is one of the other things that once you've finished, the primary component of the Citadel DLC becomes an option to go around here, explore, and there are several things to do around here. So, that is the stuff that we will be looking to do in the not-so-distant future. But again, let's just double-check. Do we know where Rapid Transit is? Is that gonna... Rapid Transit 1. Oh, we just walked past it. Just walked past it. Right here. Okay. So yeah, let's head back to... I think we'll go Presidium Commons again. Just looking to purchase a few weapons. Ones that perhaps we'd said previously, yeah, were somewhat interesting, but given how we had a somewhat limited budget, we weren't yet looking to pick them up. Speaking of which, we have enough monies that we could even buy some really big ones, like the various N7 ones at the Spectre Terminal. But what I'm thinking of in particular is possibly Executioner Pistol. I'd said previously how this is it's a little bit divisive, this weapon. It is sort of like a pistol or rather a sniper in pistol form. Hits really hard, high headshot multiplier, but it shoots once, and then there's only one shot in the clip, and so you need to reload after every shot, and it has ridiculous recoil, ridiculous reload time, so you better make that hit count, and that's, in that way, why it is so similar to a sniper rifle, despite being technically in the pistol spot. But because that may not be a huge difference for Shepard, since you technically have access to any type of weapon, but for squad mates that, say, cannot equip sniper rifles, having the Executioner Pistol available is a nice way to give them something kind of similar to that, something that hits really hard when they might not normally have the ability to do that if they only have access to, say, pistols and SMGs, which is certainly the case for several of our squad members. So that's kind of tempting. Other than that, oh, some of the other ones that I was thinking of, perhaps we did purchase recently. Yeah, okay, so let's pick up the Executioner Pistol. So yeah, for those reasons, since it has pretty significant downsides, significant upsides, but significant downsides as well, there are people who dismiss that weapon as a bit of a meme, and there are those who say, no, you know what, if used properly, it can be a very effective weapon. And so I personally do like it, despite, actually, I kind of hate sniper rifles, at least in multiplayer, is something that I'm kind of, I'm outspoken about my distaste for sniper rifles. But for whatever reason, that pistol, the Executioner Pistol, despite being a very sniper-like pistol, I'm totally fine with it. I like it. So, I don't know. Maybe that makes me a hypocrite. Maybe it does, but either way, I enjoy it, and that's all that matters. And, you know, we may not necessarily be looking to use it on Shepard, because, as I said, Shepard technically has access to a whole variety of different weapons. We aren't restricted to any one type of weapon, whereas our squad mates, that's where it could be quite interesting. Pistol piercing mod could also be a decent mod to throw on the Executioner Pistol. Obviously, we can't pierce with the Acolyte, which is what we've been using. That's one of the reasons why we probably would not opt to switch over to the Executioner Pistol, is because the Acolyte covers for our greatest weaknesses, those being shields, since biotics generally don't work against shielded enemies. So we probably aren't about to change that. But see, other than that, the heatsink, I mean, at times we've talked about it many times before, could be interesting. Even the pistol cranial trauma system that gives the additional headshot damage, but if we're putting that executioner on a squad mate, then squad mates don't necessarily make a point of shooting for the head, so, I mean, that's one potential downside of the execution pistol on a squad mate, except it does just give them a really hard-hitting pistol, which is the primary reason why we might consider doing it. I think, other than that, not a huge fan of the scopes, don't think that's strictly necessary. Let's head over to the Spectre Terminal and see what we can afford here at 166,000 credits. That's, I mean, I think 175 was an important threshold. That might have been the threshold for the Black Widow. No, that might have been 125,000. So we might still be able to pick that up. But there's definitely some really expensive stuff still. The Valkyrie is one of the N7 weapons that is, I think, 225,000, which might be the single most expensive weapon. Not necessarily one that I'm the biggest fan of, so I think we'll probably pass on that. But there are still, I think, at least one or two really strong weapons that we just haven't quite had the chance to afford just yet. So, as I said, now is the time, because there isn't much time left. So, if we're gonna get something big, now is pretty much, I mean, not technically our last chance to purchase, but one of our last chances to purchase. So, let's go over here to the Spectre Terminal. The ones I have in mind are, I think we've not yet purchased the Piranha. Let's see. Yeah, Piranha, ooh, it's 125,000. Okay, that's a little more expensive than I had recalled. Valiant is 250, not even 225,000, 250. That is astronomically expensive. Wow. Okay, there are, so yeah, the Valkyrie is here. Oh, that's actually just an upgrade for the Valkyrie. Okay. But no, I don't think that's all that necessary, but yes, the Black Widow is, by some accounts, the best sniper rifle in the game. There are certainly people who would argue for the Javelin over the Black Widow. I think the Black Widow might technically have a little bit more damage, but the Javelin might have more piercing. I think they both have 1 meter of piercing, but the Javelin you can see through walls, which you cannot do with the Black Widow, and so that extra quality of life is quite convenient, and not to mention we got the Javelin for free from a quest, whereas the Black Widow we have to pay 125,000 credits for. So that's a bit of a tiebreaker that works in the Javelin's favor. But the Harrier, ooh, I forgot about the Harrier and Piranha. Harrier, by some accounts, is, I mean, it is definitely one of the highest damage per second assault rifles in the game. The biggest knock against it is that it has very limited ammo capacity, and so it's kind of a weird way to balance it out, but while you're firing, the damage is amazing. It's just that you're going to have to reload quite often, and then even when you're reloading, you're going to blow through the entirety of your ammo fairly quickly as well. So that's not really much of a problem for squad mates, since they have unlimited ammo, and, I mean, yes, they will have to reload, but they're not going to have to run over to get an ammo clip in the middle of a fight. That being said, of course, we already have the Typhoon, and so I think that's one of the reasons why we did not go out of our way to pick up the Harrier, was because we had the Typhoon. So the Typhoon has been amazing for us, of course, and so, I mean, is this ever really going to replace the Typhoon on any squad mate? Perhaps. Perhaps not. So if it's up to either the Harrier or the Piranha being one of the best shotguns in the game, close range, not very accurate, but it is sort of a hybrid between a shotgun and an assault rifle, which does lead to a lot of damage. That's probably rising to the top of my list right now. I think we probably go that route. And then after that, I'm not sure we're going to be able to afford even some of these smaller weapons like the Eagle, which is a really solid, well-rounded pistol. It's probably not the best at anything, but it's really good at everything. So yeah, it's basically your all-purpose pistol. But I think, yeah, if we have to choose, then it's probably going to come down to the Piranha. Yeah. Paladin also fairly well-rounded. A little bit slower firing, harder hitting as pistols go. Maybe a little less versatile than the Eagle, which fires quite rapidly for a pistol. I guess that's the one thing that as pistols go, it is almost like an SMG or arguably even assault rifle to a certain extent. But let's go Piranha, I think. And yeah, once we do that, then it's, you know, little bit of weapon upgrades, or one piece of armor that we missed in the previous mission, but don't think that's what we're looking to purchase here with our remaining monies. We'll see if we can save up to get some other stuff. Let's take a quick look at the Piranha here. And we might also have some other weapons that we've not yet gotten the chance to look at. Like, oh, well, the Executioner, obviously, we just picked up. I mean, sure, I guess we'll throw the same mods on for now, just that we don't accidentally forget to switch it back. Also, while we're at it, we'll throw on the Piranha that we just purchased, just to show you what they're all about. So yeah, Piranha has, although it's a little deceptive here, very fast rate of fire. You'd think it'd be higher on that bar, but those bars are not super accurate, really. The N7 Piranha is an assault shotgun designed for the Reaper War. When the N7 program began training alien resistance forces, the lighter-bodied species wanted a low-recoil weapon with a wide pellet spread for dealing with hordes of husks. It does have quite a bit of recoil still, but, I mean, maybe not that much by shotgun standards, but it is a little odd seeing that that is how they describe it. The result was the Piranha, which hit a sweet spot in close-range firepower. Yes, emphasis on close range. The rapid-fire capability tears apart not only husks, but most opponents unlucky enough to be in its way. So, that's the look at the stats and the description for the Executioner pistol. Invented by Bloodpack weapons experts, the first Executioner was improvised using spare parts and scrap metal during an Omega territory dispute. The result was a handheld cannon able to fire high-impact, armor-piercing slugs, although only one at a time due to its limited heatsink. Many Bloodpack mercs carry an Executioner as backup in case they get pinned down, but some enthusiasts prefer it as their primary gun, sticking to the one-shot, one-kill approach. That is very much the name of the game for the Executioner, because it takes so long to reload it in between shots, and there's so much recoil. You do need to be taking care of business with those shots. If you miss, you're in trouble. If the target still survives, you're probably in trouble as well, because it's going to be a lot of time until you're getting off your next shot. So, that being said, it is a solid secondary weapon as well, because it is, I mean, as pistols go, it's on the heavier side. I mean, our weight right now is pretty heavy because we also have the Piranha on too, but as a fairly light addition, as a sidearm when you have maybe more of a rapid-fire weapon, like an assault rifle of some sort, then you can pack the Executioner as a different way to deal with different types of problems. But let's see here. So why don't we start with the Piranha? So Piranha, as we were saying, the sort of assault rifle shotgun hybrid, and you can see how wide the reticle is. The accuracy, not great. The damage, however, is great. So I'm just holding down the fire button. Not zoomed in here. And so, like the recoil, I guess the recoil isn't quite as bad as I was remembering it being. That's me not adjusting for the recoil at all. And if we zoom in, I mean, maybe slightly more accurate, but really not much of a difference. So it really is, the name of the game with the Piranha, is being up close and personal, and probably not even zooming in like that. Just kind of running and gunning, blasting people if they get too close, and the damage will be quite good. Now, normally, you would be very wise to put on a smart choke here. I think we are currently using this unmodded, so you could obviously get some additional damage, some additional accuracy, and that will very much help. And at that point, you can make it work at sort of medium range like this, but without it, this is potentially asking for a little trouble. I mean, we still are landing a fair number of those pellets, but that's the Piranha. So very solid DPS, just not the best when it comes to longer range engagements. Now here is the Executioner pistol. And Executioner pistol, as I said, bit of a pistol sniper hybrid, and that is because you fire once and it takes a huge amount of time to reload and ridiculous recoil. Like that. Oh, and I also just hiccuped right as I was laughing there, in case you're wondering what that sound was. Okay, but it did one shot. It did one shot, in case you're wondering. That's the unarmored target. Now, the armored target as well. Also, one shot. That's why the health is going back up to full. It's resetting here. But you can see how long it takes. Again, this is me trying to fire it as quickly as possible. and it is still quite long. So, very large headshot multiplier, very high base damage as well, like if you don't hit people in the head. Still one-shotting the unarmored target, still one-shotting the armored target, and still one-shotting the shielded target as well. That is with a base damage upgrade here. We did carry over the mods that we had on the Acolyte, so Power Magnifier obviously not doing anything here, but the high caliber barrel is giving it 25% additional damage. But yeah, I mean, you can see how far the damage bar is getting filled there. Again, it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it does translate to a whole lot of damage with this pistol here, the Executioner. And for that reason, I am a big fan. But probably not the best fit for our Shepard, because we are focusing primarily on dealing with shields, since that's the key weakness of Biotics, is we can't singularity people when they have shields. So that is unfortunate, and therefore the Acolyte helps cover our bases. Let's get rid of the Piranha as well. We're back to getting our quick recharge time, but those are the weapons that we have recently acquired. Did we looked at the Lancer, didn't we? Which we picked up earlier on the Citadel mission. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. The Lancer is similar to, it's based on Mass Effect 1 weapons with, you see the 38 in the bottom left corner there, which is technically our ammo, yes, but it is actually rather than having a finite number that we just reload at the end of it, no, it is a cooldown based weapon. So we fire it a little bit, and then over time, it replenishes its own ammo. Obviously not really hitting the target there, but mostly just looking at the bottom left corner there at the ammo. You blow through it, and then rather than actually hitting the reload button, which you don't even need to do, it just reloads automatically, unless you blow through all of the ammo, which I'll do now, just to show you what happens. Then you have to reload in this very long reload animation, and if you cut that short in any way before it finishes that animation, then you're not good. You still need to complete it before you actually get the chance to fire again. So oftentimes, if I'm using this weapon, I might find myself shooting it, then, oh, okay, I have a general sense how long I can fire it, but oh, no, I forgot about it, and didn't stop quickly enough, and so I had to reload. I might try to reload there for a second, but there you saw I did not finish the animation, so if I try to fire again, still need to go through the full animation. Even then, didn't quite finish the animation, so it is definitely one of, if not tied for, the longest reload animation. Same idea as if the particle rifle runs out of ammo, same thing happens. So, however, there are some circumstances where, as long as you're mindful of how much ammo you have left and you don't actually reach zero, it can be really convenient to not have to worry about having to pick up any ammo clips, because you can just recharge your ammo automatically. And it is also very light by assault rifle standards. I think I was bad-mouthing it a little bit when we acquired it, where I had said that it was a really solid weapon, perhaps one tier below top tier, because I think I described it as just an Avenger that is slightly better at everything. But I think that was perhaps not giving it quite enough credit, where I think the damage is, despite not looking like it's all that amazing, I mean, assault rifle damage numbers are never really that high up there, but that is in part because the damage is, of course, multiplied by the fire rate, which, when you combine above average damage by assault rifle standards and still a fast fire rate, it is quite good. Quite good. And because it is so light, it's a really solid option for power-based characters like us. So if ever we felt as though we wanted to switch off from one of our existing weapons into an assault rifle, Lancer probably would be the gun that we would choose to take. Unless, I mean, the Aegis does intrigue me a little bit, but it is heavy. Because this is theoretically, I think, significantly stronger in single player than it is in multiplayer. I've never tried it in single player, only in multiplayer. So it does make me quite curious, but that's probably just an aside there. But anyways, there's a look at some of the weapons that we picked up recently. And now let's actually head back to the Normandy And it's a good thing, I think, that we held on to a little bit of credits here, because although we did purchase one big and expensive weapon, I still think we want to try to upgrade a few more things on the Normandy before we continue to explore the rest of the Silversun Strip, which is the name of that new area on the Citadel that only becomes available after you finish the Citadel DLC, or at least the first half of it. And you'll see why in just a second, but let's guess what, Docking Bay at least has a fast travel spot to take us back to Normandy. Right over here. First time in a long time we've been here without seeing Garrus. But yeah, now we see Silversun Strip is, like I just said, that new area that we poked our head in ever so briefly. We will be going back there very shortly, but let's just head back to the Normandy and make a point of upgrading some of those weapons that we've recently acquired, or other ones that we feel like are good, but perhaps just not quite good enough to warrant using. And so we've had some where we said, you know, it's close to this other one, but we'll use the weapon level as a tiebreaker, and we just haven't upgraded some of them, and so for that reason we never got the chance to use them.
Commander?
I'm not sure if squad mates will have anything to say to us in response to having finished the Citadel DLC on the Normandy. That was, I think, what we experienced last time when we did Omega, was there weren't any new things for people to
Commander,
discuss with us.
How's the ship holding up, Edie?
The envelope of mass free space.
Yeah, we've heard that many times before. Okay. Sorry, Edie, but been there, heard that. So yeah, let's head down to the bottom floor, and we'll upgrade up. I'm thinking, we'll take a look. I'm not entirely sure, based on how much monies we have, exactly how much upgrading we can do, because if you want to fully upgrade weapons, it starts to add up quite a bit. But I think if we had to choose, I would probably go... None of the ones we've seen thus far, none of them are particularly good. Saber is potentially a strong assault rifle, though I just don't think it's a great fit for us. Shotgun Launcher is a DLC only and modded only in multiplayer weapons, so I don't have a ton of experience with it, so that's another one that I'm intrigued about, but I think we'll resist given our not quite as significant as I would have expected credit count at the moment. Yet the Plasma Shotgun is a little intriguing, although since it is a charge-up weapon and squad mates aren't good at charge-up weapons because they won't charge them up, probably not the best fit unless we were to use it ourselves, and it's heavy enough that we probably are not about to do that. Claymore is one that we considered upgrading previously. That's one of the ones that I was alluding to previously where we had said, yeah, we might want to throw this on someone like Tally. It's just that it was only level 1 compared to level 5 Crusader, or I think we fully upgraded the Wraith up to level 5. And for those reasons, we said, you know, maybe that's reason enough not to use the Claymore here, but that could be something worth upgrading. Raider, similar to the Claymore in terms of its really high point-blank damage. Rieger. Rieger is one that, I was thinking we were probably going to upgrade here, because, as I think I stated when we purchased it, it's a shotgun that shoots basically bolts of electricity, almost like an assault rifle. In fact, you would probably assume it's just a really short-range assault rifle. It's insanely high damage, especially when combined with certain particular skills, in part because it's actually a bug, and that's one of the reasons why, at least in multiplayer, although it is unbelievably effective, it is it's kind of frowned upon in some circles because it's kind of cheese and things. But I am intrigued to at least try it out a bit in single player, not for us, but for some squad mates who could potentially put it to very good use. So that's also a tempting option. Executioner, if we wanted a squad mate to use it, again, of course, we prefer to have that more heavily upgraded. Piranha, we just picked up. That's another one that if we want people to use it, we'd like to upgrade it. Lancer, if we do intend to use it, we'd like to upgrade it. Suppressor, we also just got from Citadel DLC, and this is, when you hit the headshots with this, technically one of, if not the highest DPS weapons in the entire game. So, if we were focusing more on weapons damage with Shepard, then this would be potentially a very nice option for us. yes, we're using pistols, but again, there's a specific reason why we're going for the Acolyte. It may not be the highest damage in all situations, but since it gives us that really nice and efficient shield stripping and barrier stripping, and that's, especially for shields, the thing that we are most concerned about, it just is a really natural fit for us. And that's the last of our weapons here. So, yeah, I think it's probably between Lancer, might not be as urgent, Piranha, Executioner, and Rieger. I think I might actually prefer opting for Rieger first. I think that's going to be the plan, and curious to see how much money we have once we have finished upgrading that. I think just one more gets it fully upgraded, but yeah, at that point it's 10,000 per upgrade. So it is now fully upgraded, the Rieger that is, but it does mean that now, sure, we can afford probably 2, maybe 3 upgrades for one of these other weapons, and so when it comes to that stuff, what's next in our priority list? We did just pick up the Piranha, and we spent a whole lot of credits on that, so it might be the Piranha. Yes, it is also a shotgun, and so in some ways, the same characters that would potentially be considering using the Rieger are the same ones that would potentially be considering using the Piranha, so they are going to compete against each other in a certain way. But hey, I mean, it gives us options. They do actually have quite similar use cases as well, because they're both very much close-range shotguns. So yeah, we, got a couple of upgrades on it, so it's up to level 3 now, and we're almost able to get up to rank 4, but that is just about all of our monies. Now, you may remember me saying, we talked about a whole lot in Mass Effect 2. There is a finite amount of credits that you can get. You can never exceed that number of credits, and so that means, by extension, there's a finite number of things that you can purchase from shops, and so you need to be really mindful of when and where you spend your credits. That technically, for 90% of Mass Effect 3 is the case, with one exception that we are soon going to experience, and that's why, technically speaking, it is a little grindy, it takes a little bit of patience. It depends if it's your type of thing, but it is an option. If you find yourself really wanting to purchase and upgrade a whole bunch of weapons, it's possible. It is possible to do so. But anyways, that's all an aside. Let's jump in here, because we still have an entirely new area of the Citadel to go check out, the Silversun Strip. Okay, so we're back here in the Silversun Strip, which we were ever so briefly on before. It is technically the place that connects us to our new apartment, and so I believe that's what, 4? Yeah, so like right up here would be where our apartment is. There's a few people over here though, so why don't we just take it from the apartment and work our way over from there. Like, oh my goodness, this new area of the Citadel that we totally haven't been in before. Look at all these people here. I wonder if we can chat with any of them, like, say, this clerk.
We're happy to fulfill all your household needs.
Oh? Well, you may remember we were looking in the apartment previously, and there were options, or at least theoretically, there were options to customize our furniture in a number of different ways, and we just didn't have them unlocked, and that is because this shop is the place where you purchase those options, and I mean, an individual option is not super expensive. Collectively, if you're looking to get all these, then it does start to add up quite a bit. Obviously, these are purely optional, up to your personal preference as to whether you would like to pick these up or not. As we were just saying previously, yeah, there technically is an unlimited source of credits in Mass Effect 3, and so this is one of those things where maybe it's not a super high priority, but if you find yourself picking up some extra credits and you don't really have anything weapon or upgrade-wise to spend them on, then why not? You can throw some credits around over here as well. So for that reason, that's probably the approach we'll take here. Is not going to be one of our top priorities, but if we do find ourselves having already purchased and upgraded the weapons that we'd like, then any excess credits we may choose to allocate over here, but it's not going to be one of our chief concerns. For now, let's explore the rest of the strip.
That's exactly the point. Other than a couple small badges, nobody knows the difference. I mean, the car's barely road legal. C-Sec
illegal space car? How dare you? How dare you? Okay, so let's take a look here at what the various places in the area are. So number 4 is where we just were. That's where the apartment is. Number 1 is where we currently are. That's where the rapid transit is. 5 is straight ahead. That would be the Armax Arsenal Arena. I think we may actually opt to finish with that one. Let's just look around this main area here for the time being. And perhaps chat with Avina. Oh.
My usual squad's on medical, so I'm stuck with any N7s who are nearby. I just wanted a nice, smooth mission. You know, professional. Ended up a damn train wreck.
What?
We're fighting for the fate of the galaxy. You'd think we could handle one mission as a coherent fighting unit.
Squad maybe good. Random crew never good.
Reminds me of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, where you oftentimes get thrown in with a random group, and sometimes, all the time, it is a roll of dice. Sometimes you get lucky and your group is quite capable and it's smooth sailing. Other times, not so much, and you may find yourself having to carry the team quite a bit, but that's part of the fun of it, is that uncertainty.
Long sight lines, good cover, no way to get flanked. We could have bunkered up, set up kill zones, used a drone or a decoy to lure Reaper forces into position. And where's everyone else? Standing at the top of a ramp.
Ramp bad. Enemies all around.
Yes, exactly. And no cover. It didn't help that we had some brutal side objectives, but even then...
This is totally meant to be in response to Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
And this crazy ex-Cerberus Vanguard guy insists on doing it. He's running all over the place getting killed, and I'm yelling at him, let me do it, I can cloak.
Infiltrator good for devices. Or engineer with drone or decoy. Or me, because me don't die.
Yes, thank you. Later, that same ex-Cerberus Vanguard picks up a backpack. Gets halfway back to the pickup zone, loses his shields. So what does he do? He charges.
No charge. Charge make backpack drop.
Yes, everyone knows that. So if you're gonna charge or cloak or something, don't pick up the backpack. And you should have seen him when we were supposed to bunker down and upload some intel.
Got charge away. Upload go slow. Bad for
So these are all just totally inside jokes for Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And if you have played any Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which, by the way, we're doing every Saturday on stream and then posting the VODs for that on YouTube in case you're interested and missed out on any of that stuff. But all these things are very relevant things that happen all the time in multiplayer.
Trying to do it to a banshee.
Claws on Banshee bad. Stay back. Use fire.
I swear, I would have called for early extraction if I hadn't requisitioned a single-use armor-piercing pod.
all very much things that happen in multiplayer. Unfortunately, not in Legendary Edition. That is true. That is true. I wish it was, of course.
Worst part? After that mission, the ex-Cerberus guy was bragging about how many kills he had.
Not about competition. About saving galaxy as
All this stuff is so true. Happens
You
all
are
the time.
Totally right. Totally right. So, if you want, we could, I don't know, trade N7 operative intel. So if you ever wanted to deploy together.
Oh.
rightfully used.
Oh, it's a Widow. A Widow 3, in fact.
Just level 3? Gross.
Widow 10. You call
Exactly. Call me when you have a Widow 10. How dare you? How dare you try to use a not fully upgraded weapon in my group, in my lobby? Not gonna happen. Call me when your gear is fully upgraded. Oh, that was amazing. I loved that. It was all so relevant, so real. Like, all very frequent and very realistic critiques. Okay, we've heard that, but also Novaria is one of the maps in multiplayer. But anyways, originally my intention was to come over here to see what Avina can tell us about this area.
Hello, Commander Shepard. Welcome to Silversun Strip. The Citadel Tourist and Visitor Board has declared Silversun Strip a top Citadel attraction. It is known for its
Those
wide
holographic
variety of
trees?
entertainment facilities and vibrant nightlife.
Okay, let's see what else we can learn. What are the the goings-on in the area.
What else is in the area?
Silversun Strip is a popular destination with both tourists and longtime residents of the Citadel. Its most well-known attraction is the Silver Coast, a high-end casino and entertainment facility.
Okay, and technically, we have been there, of course, already. What about restaurants?
Any good restaurants?
The Ryusei Sushi restaurant is often cited as a local favorite. Unfortunately, it is currently undergoing repairs due to extensive water damage and miscellaneous destruction.
Ah, gee, can't imagine why that might happen. Not as if we may or may not have fallen through the glass floor, spilling water everywhere. Couldn't have been it. Surely not. What about other Citadel areas? I mean, as in the places that we've already been to in the Citadel that are not part of the Silversun Strip?
Any other important areas I should know about?
The Normandy is currently docked in D24, which is tagged to your biometrics. Docking Bay E24 has been repurposed into temporary housing to accommodate the recent influx of civilians to the Citadel. For medical needs, the Presidium offers leading-edge care at the Huerta Memorial Hospital. The Presidium Commons have been a cultural mainstay since the Council was first established at the Citadel.
Notably, you did not include any description of the Purgatory nightclub. Is there a reason for that, Avina?
Do you have any information on Purgatory?
The term purgatory is present in many civilizations with varying associated uses and meanings.
No, the bar called Purgatory.
The Citadel Tourist and Visitor Board has no establishment by that name on its list of approved nightlife entertainment facilities.
It's technically not approved. That is good. That is good. It's technically not supposed to be there, but it exists nonetheless, and is, of course, actually a pretty crucial component of the Citadel culture. But alas, that appears to be all we can talk with Avina about here.
That's it. Thanks.
Please speak with me again if you require further assistance.
I had this perfect spell.
Alright, so there's a little bit more about the Silversun Strip area.